And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
Players Lounge. You have been given full access to the Players Lounge on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Marijuana, I love it, my brother. I'm cultivated, I would say. Marijuana in my soul. Marijuana in my heart.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. Good morning to you out there in listening land, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spreaker. As always, here in Atlanta, Georgia, AM 1100 on your dial. Good morning to you. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., 10 a.m. You can hit us up at 404-603-8770 or 888-926-7562. Ravishing Ray on the Macked Out Mac. Big Kenny, the funny man himself, is in the building. Glad to be here with you this morning. As I said, the NBA Game 1, the finals is happening tonight. Finally, the fourth time around for Golden State versus the Cavs. The daunting task of trying to take down the juggernaut, which calls themselves the Warriors, has fallen once again on the best player in the world, LeBron James. How much does he have left? Will Kevin Love play? When will Andrew Iguodala come back? All of these questions that in less than 12 hours we will start learning as they play the game. We have the pleasure to have someone who has experienced the NBA in all kinds of ways, being a first-round pick fresh out of high school, having a long, stellar career starring in the NBA, now in the Big Three League, and also getting his entrepreneur. I can't actually say what I want to say. Becoming an entrepreneur.
The entrepreneur homeboy. And then what we going to call it.
Mr. Al Harrington. Good morning to you, Al.
Good morning, gentlemen. What's going on?
We thank you for taking the time and waking up and helping us out. First and foremost, you're kind of like that last group of right out of high school to the pros. Anywhere in that first year or two did you think, hey, I should have went to college?
No, I never felt like that, man. I felt like I was right where I belong. I just felt like, being able to be around those vets and being that young, all the job training you could get, you know what I'm saying? And it definitely helped mold me and shape me so that, I think that's the reason why I was able to play 16 years, because of that foundation I got from those guys.
And would you say that's kind of why maybe some of the younger players now are developing slower, because they don't have those deep, rich veterans on the bench to pass that knowledge?
I think that's huge, man, because I think that you just need guys that have that experience just to, to really mentor the young players or whatever. But, the young guys aren't doing that bad. I think this is probably the most skilled the league has been in a long time. But, just some of the fundamentals and stuff like that is what I think a lot of these young kids are lacking.
And in the NBA, just one other note on that, would you like to see them go back to just the right out of high school? How would you, as Al Harrington, handle the whole high school to college one and done situation?
Yeah, I can let them come out, man, especially now because they got the G League. So, the big thing before was like, they're not ready. So they're not ready. You draft them and send them down to the G League. You know what I'm saying? Let them go down there and learn and play and get some minutes. And you monitor them like that. Because, the college situation to me, it doesn't make any sense, especially because, you don't allow these kids to get any money, to allow them to get any extra perks or whatever, but they're out there, playing for these major universities, selling jerseys, selling all these different memorabilia and stuff like that, and they can't get anything for it. So, my thing is just like, allow these guys to go pro, let them make that decision. And if they're good enough, they'll make it, you know what I'm saying, and just leave it like that.
Why do you think the barbershop talk of the whole Michael Jordan, LeBron James thing can sustain so long when we're talking about two gentlemen who never was able to take the court at the same time? Why do you think that's something that the media can sell so consistently?
Just because it's just that myth, You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? We'll never know. You know what I'm saying? So it's always going to be LeBron's always going to have to play against Mike's ghost. And then when LeBron's done, those two ghosts going to have to play against each other forever. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where, like, everybody's always going to have an opinion. But, you know, I think LeBron has done enough where I think he's put himself in a position where, to me, I think he might be the greatest player ever.
Well, now you've moved on to the cannabis industry. And I must ask you, because there's other ex-athletes like Ricky Williams and even former NBA player Lamar Odom going on record that he's in some kind of way getting into that industry. Is this a passion or just a business plan of yours?
Man, that's a great question. The difference between me and a lot of the other guys, I can't really speak on these guys because I haven't really talked to them, but for me, this is both. You know what I mean? I put up real money. I put my own money up to start this company. You know what I'm saying? They might have been just come use me as a name and just put plaster me on top of a product. You know, I really learned this thing from, how to cultivate, how to manufacture, you know what I'm saying, wholesale to retail. You know what I mean? So I learned every part of the business on my own dime. So, this is something that is being dear to me. And, because of the way I saw cannabis help my grandmother is what kind of started me on this path. Because, up until I seen how cannabis helped my grandmother, I was always scared of cannabis. I wasn't a smoker. I always believed I'm from Orange, New Jersey. So, I was always believed when I saw the dudes on the corner smoking weed that they was going to end up being in the alley smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just like I was not touching it. You know what I'm saying? But then when I saw the medicinal benefits that it gave my grandmother, who suffered from glaucoma, and pretty much it gave her sight back, gave her her vision back, gave her life back at the end of the day. Because my grandmother's always said, God could just let me see again. I'll give up this, that, and the third just so I could have my eyes. And cannabis gave her that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just been amazing. It's been an amazing journey for me because I've been learning, every year. So like I feel like I'm a rookie all over again in this space, but it's really amazing because I just feel like we're going to help so many people. And I feel like cannabis is one day going to get the credit for healing the world. And I think I'm going to be one of the pioneers that kind of help change the narrative of that. Now, in the industry, you're planning going full array of products across the board? Yeah, man. I mean, that's the other thing about it. It's just so many things that this plant can do, man. I mean, it could make clothing, it could build roads, it makes paper. You know what I mean? So, it's one thing is just everybody think all it is, all you could do is smoke it. You know what I'm saying? And that's not true. So, yes, I plan on immersing myself into cannabis, where we will make as many things as we can, and I would like to be a part of it. Now, you're in the Big Three, at least last season. Is this something just to keep those competitive juices going, or have you found that it's a great retirement tool to use to still be able to get a game or two in? I think it's both, man. Because I think a lot of times guys get done playing, man, and they're not ready to be done. Like nobody really tells you, or it's not a script written saying like, okay, after year 12, you're done. You know what I'm saying? So it gives you an opportunity to be prepared. A lot of guys aren't prepared. You know what I mean? It's like one next thing you know, NBA is like, oh, he's too slow, it's too fat, he doesn't shoot the ball well, he don't jump as high, so we're done with him. And guys are sitting there like, well, that's all I've done. Like, I can't get one more year. You know what I'm saying? So now the Big Three allows you to get one more year, potentially 5 more years. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously there's a lot less wear and tear on the body. It's half-court basketball. And, I mean, Cube and Jeff, they are amazing owners. And, they really, connect with the players and try to give players platforms to, do stuff, not only in the Big Three, but outside of that and by using their resources. So I think it's just an amazing thing. And I think that, it'll give guys just an opportunity to kind of ease into retirement, keep them on TV, keep them relevant. And then at that point, at the writing on the wall that you need to be figuring out what's next, you have an issue, obviously. But it just gives guys that little gapper to, kind of settle back into society.
Al, thanks for joining us. This is Big Kenny. You talked about this endeavor into the cannabis industry being both passion and a business plan. And from my research, I see that you are part of the HBKNU scholarship and you named it after your company, which is named after your grandmother, which sends students to school to help them become owners and players in the cannabis industry. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, man. I felt like that was important because, I've been in this industry, for a while now. And, I move around a lot. And, because I'm an ex-NBA player, I guess everybody think I have, more money than God. So I see a lot of deal flow. I go to a lot of events and different things like that. And one thing I realize when I'm there is a lot of times, like, I'm the only one that looks like me there. You know what I'm saying? That's tall, dark, and handsome. But, at the end of the day, it's just, not a lot of black people there, man. And, I mean, a lot of times there's none. And when I just think about the war on drugs, like, 85% of drug arrests in the black community is marijuana related. So I'm just trying to figure out why aren't we represented at all. And the reason why is a couple of reasons because, they're trying to monopolize the process and different things like that by making you have to have cash and different things. So my biggest thing is just, trying to find a way to give back to the black communities. And I think that this scholarship, by us, having this entrepreneurship program as well, we can send these kids to school, give them exposure to the cannabis industry young, give them that foundation. And, even for me, I'm a multi-state operator. I'll be able to, place these kids in internships, within my company and allow them to decide if this is something that they want to do. And I think that's just very important, giving these guys an opportunity to participate in this industry when, a lot of our fathers and mothers and aunts and uncles and different things like that have went to jail behind having nickel bags. And now this is a billion-dollar industry that I feel like they're boxing us out of, and it's just not fair.
Well, Al, thank you for taking the time to calling in this morning. We greatly appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Al Harrington, 16 years in the NBA. You can catch him now in the Big 3 League that kicks off again this summer. Brought to you by Ice Cube. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show.